I'm doing a comic review now. This is the comic I have chosen, Thunderbolts 56, and this image here, this is called a cover. Is what is on the front of the comic, and you're meant to see it and go, oh, I am interested in that. And the cover here, it is Count Gravity. There, he controls gravity, and he is controlling this woman. This is one of the Thunderbolts. This is Moonstump, and this was actually one of my first Thunderbolts comics, and I've liked the Thunderbolts ever since. And the reason I decided to do this comic is because the artist, Patrick Zircher, he was having a go at Evan Skyver, saying, oh, you are a Nazi because you drew a baddie as a Hitler man. But the thing is, the cover of Thunderbolts 60, Patrick Zircher draws a baddie as a Hitler man too. So if Evan Skyver is a Nazi for doing it, then so is Patrick Zircher. And I told Patrick Zircher this, and he blocked me on the Twitters. So I am mad at Patrick Zircher now. And I actually really like Patrick Zircher because he drew this comic, and he drew really good issues of Thunderbolts. And then he started drawing Cable and Deadpools, and I got all of them. And then he moved to Iron Man's, I got all of them. Then he did this little mini series called Mystery Man's, which no one but me bought. Then he went to Valiant and he did Shadows Man, and like I even got Spider-Man No because he did the covers for them. And I even went back and got loads of really shitty issues of the New Warriors because he did the art for them. But one tweet saying that he was hypocritical, and he blocked me. Anyway, this comic, there's a bit of backstory to it, so you can get a bit lost if you've not read the Thunderbolts issues before this. What has happened is the government have forced all the Thunderbolts to retire, and they've replaced the Thunderbolts with a new team of government Thunderbolts. And even though this comic came out in 2001, it is almost as if it was predicting Donald Trump's presidency, because the government team are completely incompetent and awful. But we open up, and this is Patrick Zircher. He is a hypocrite and a bully, and he blocked us. But this is a good page. He is a good artist. Like this is like a splash page, but they have broken it up into panels, and then some of the panels are actual panels. So like this is a bit creative and that. And this is a really good opening to a comic as well, because straight off the belt you can see one of the Thunderbolts. He is called Angar the Screamer. He in the first five bits he is killed. What a way to open a comic. And Count Gravity's like, an entity made of sound cannot exist in a vacuum. Pop. There, he is dead. Then, before you can even pull yourself together and understand what's happened, the other Thunderbolts start fighting, and he's like, as for you, Charlie Cole, and he just blows him apart. And Charlie Cole's like, oh, I can reform myself. And Count Gravity's like, yeah, I know. That is why I wish to challenge you. And he just disperses all of Charlie Cole's rock parts and stuff. And believe it or not, Charlie Cole never appeared after this. So first page, two members of the Thunderbolts already dead. And Charlie Cole, he had been in the book for 30 issues, and this is like his big death. This is like a really exciting way to open up an issue. And then we've got this here, the Electric Girl. He kills her as well. But she actually does come back in a few issues, so that one doesn't really count. But we're 2 pages in, and 3 of the team are already dead. And this is the rest of the team here. They're getting ready to fight Count Gravity. This one here, this is Meteor Wrong. And this one here, this is Shadows Man. And this here is Fister. This is Armadillo, because she normally wears a suit of armor that makes her look like an armadillo. So it's like a play on words, armadillo. And this is V-Man, and he's like the leader, but actually he is really Baron Zero. And I say this, right, I think that Baron Zero is hands down the best character in all of comics that wears a pink sock on his head. And if you disagree with that, then you're wrong, because it isn't even a pink sock, it's magenta. And he's like, oh, I actually, and Count Gravity's like, oh, I hold no ill will towards you people. It was the other Thunderbolts I want to kill, so I'll just kill you quickly. And then what happens is Meteor Wrong, she goes and attacks him, and this is a good bit here, because V-Man, you think, oh, you'll be leading them into battle, but no, he runs away like a chicken. And then Count Gravity gets Meteor Wrong, controlling her in gravity, and he throws her up into space. And this bit is really good here, because we get this like prose here. She wouldn't be here, Meteor Wrong thinks. It wasn't fair. Lieutenant Valerie Barnhart of the U.S. Air Force refused to be a rape victim, and her commanding officer, her attacker, was left paralyzed as a result. He said, she said, and they listened to him. Oh, this is like this is like Me Too, isn't it? And he was encouraged to retire. She was given a choice to expunge her record by testing an experimental flight suit and joining a group of government superhumans. And there she is in space, flung into space. All she ever wanted was to be a pilot like her mom and fly. She got her wish. That is really good. That gives the character so much backstory right there, so that what is happening, her dying, is given great dramatic effect. Like, some comics would have spent like a whole issue telling that story, but we get told the information there to best fit the narrative and give this dramatic impact. That is good. Armadillo is getting her armor there, and Fister, he wants to run away. And yeah, we've got this advert here for the Excellent Men. No, wait, this is for a trading card game. Yeah, not just the Excellent Men, there's other ones there. That is Scarlet Johansson there. That is Electro. That is Storms. That is Rouge. That is Wolfman, I think. Yeah, I think that is Wolfman. They don't show his clothes or his normal costume, but that is Wolfman. That is Spidey. That is Peacemaker. And that is Daredevil. I don't know if that card game was successful. Then Fister runs away, and Count Gravity's like, oh, I'll let him get his hopes up, I'll let him think he's going to escape, but I'll catch him later. And then what happens is Shadows Man, he goes inside of Count Gravity, and he starts like fighting him with his shadow powers. And there's this advert here for Pokemon the Movie 3. I used to own this on video. And then Count Gravity pushes Shadow Man out of his body, and then we cut to Fister, and Fister is stopped from escaping, and oh god, that is scary. Really ugly child there. And yeah, Fister is stopped by Moonstump, one of the old Thunderbolts. And Patrick Zircher might be a horrible bully who blocks me, but like, she looks very, very beautiful. In fact, Moonstump in general is a very beautiful woman. Yeah, she has stopped Fister, and then we cut, and right, Count Gravity, he has gone to the sun, and he throws Shadows Man into the sun, because there's no shadows on the sun, so Shadows Man can't escape. And this is what I like about comics, wacky ideas that do not stand up to science at all. This is like a huge, big idea, a big concept. He's gone to the sun and like burn the Shadow Man alive. Just ignore some of the science behind it, and it is fun. And then what happens is we have Armadillo here, and we get her backstory there. There's a lot of backstory about her. There's her armor there. You can see it looks like an armadillo, and it is armor, so it's a play on words. And then we cut back to Count Gravity. He's coming back from the sun, and he flies by Meteor Wrong's body, and Meteor Wrong's still hanging on, and she's like, "Ah, oh, help! I'm running out of air." And he just looks at her, and he goes on, leaving her to die, and that is her dead. And by this point, we have pretty much lost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 8 Thunderbolts members. And then we have some more about Armadillo there. Her backstory, giving her a lot of backstory. Yeah, it's clever because it builds her up, and you think, oh, she is going to be the big game changer here. She's going to be the character that like wins it and stuff. And there you can see she's in her armor, her armadillo, and she gets loads of like guns out and stuff. And I tell you what, I bet Richard C. Meyer from Diversity in Comics, he would love this because he's like a Marine and he loves guns. Like, and then what happens though is Count Gravity, he's like, oh, impressive, but he's like being sarcastic because what he does is he just crushes her like a car, like you cube a car, and that is her dead. So now we literally just have 2 Thunderbolts left, Fister, and Fister has decided to just join forces with Count Gravity so that he gets to live. And there's Moonstump again, and she looks beautiful. She is really beautiful. She's a really sexy character. She is a psychiatrist that uses that just like seduces people and uses her mental skills to trick them and manipulate them. And the thing is, she's working with Count Gravity, right? But she knows that Count Gravity's gonna fail, and she's like putting stupid ideas in his head because really she just wants to see him like make a fool of himself. And then we see the other superheroes reacting to Count Gravity. Here we have got Black Sun, I think he is called, real name Dick Ryder. He is saving people and he's like, oh, look at me, I am a superhero. And then we cut to the Avengers house and they're being told about Count Gravity. We have got Charlotte Witch there, and there we have got Wonder Man, which if you forget, that is Wonder Woman when she transitioned into being a man for a while. And there we have got their butler, Alfred, and there this woman here in a wheelchair, she starts to get energy powers, and that is great because this really ups the disability quota for superheroes. And then what we have, we see some more of Count Gravity's like the effects that Count Gravity's attacks are having on the world. This prison van full of supervillains, it falls over and they all escape. Then we cut to 2 of the old members of the Thunderbolts. This is Screambird, and this one here, this is Mark. And what happens is they're like saying, oh, we should go and stop Count Gravity, but we can't because the government, Donald Trump's evil government in 2002 or 2001, whenever this comic came out, they have told us to stop being Thunderbolts, so we can't go and save them. And then we see Count Gravity's plan. He has raised all the capital cities in all the world, all the major cities, into the sky, so they're all like floating islands. And this is another one of those zany ideas that comics have. But the thing is, scientifically this wouldn't work at all, because for starters the water supply would be limited. Secondly, a lot of the buildings would have foundations that are deeper than you see here. Then the higher you get the thing, because of gravity pushing down, a lot of the buildings would collapse. Then even just like stuff like roads and trains, the lines and stuff, they would just come to an end and people would fall off. And like places like New York, there's not a great deal of like farmland and stuff, so how would they get food? And then of course, like it's just silly. Then what happens is we cut to V-Man, who is the last surviving Thunderbolts, and he is like, I am gonna get my revenge. And what happens in the next one is he gets all Thunderbolts together and they fight Count Gravity, and it is good. This is a really good comic. This is really one of my favourite comics, and it's just a shame that the artist blocked me on Twitter for being right, because I honestly give this comic the highest rating possible. I rate it 7 thumbs up.